Hey everybody, Gavin Syme, and people keep asking me, Gavin, what can I do to help the Patriots? Let's talk about that. I'm going to give you 3 things right now that you can do to help the Patriots. The first is get the narrative straight and stop deceiving ourselves. Let's stop with the false patriotism, the false bravado and the flag waving and, this attitude of, well, we're America, so we're better and we're the greatest and at least we're still free. We're not. We're not still free. We're not a nation of liberty anymore. We're not even a nation of law anymore, friends. Our government acts with impunity and they do whatever they want, and they have declared war on the law, on liberty, and on the people of this nation. And so our patriot brothers and sisters, they are prisoners of war. And we need to step up principled and bold and defend and stand for liberty and stand by them. And we need to start straightening out that narrative, not only in our own minds, but on the news articles, calling these guys terrorists. Don't waste time with the trolls, but go on there and call out the truth and let that truth spread, and then teach it to your neighbors and to your children and to the world. And make sure people know that the narrative, the message is liberty. It's loving your neighbor as yourself. It's justice. Because that's not what's happening in our courtrooms. It's not what's happening in our government. The rule of law is lost in America, and we need to step up. We need to get on our knees. We need to appeal to heaven. We need to restore liberty. So number 1 is get that narrative straight. All right, number 2, start showing up. Start showing up. Show up and visit them in the prisons. Show up at the rallies. Show up in the courtroom. Show up by sending them letters and making sure they know that they're not forgotten. Look, it's in Oregon. It's all over the nation. Patriots like Jeff Winehouse, like Schaefer Cox, our patriots in Oregon, Ammon, John Ritzheimer, David Fry, Pete Santilli, and the list goes on and on and on. And I'm going to put a link to the list so we can keep up with that. Start supporting them. I can tell you firsthand that when you're in these jails, they have nothing to do with due process or justice in the courtroom or in the jails. And we're seeing that firsthand now, and I can attest to that. When you're in the jail, they are mentally abusive. They make you feel alone and isolated and helpless. That's the goal. They want to break you. And I can tell you that our guys in jail are going through a lot of abuse. It's not always slap you around physical abuse, but make no mistake, it is abuse. All right, and we need to let them know that we're out here, they're not alone, they're not forgotten, and they will not be forgotten. So that's number 2, is start showing up in any capacity that you can. Number 3, start giving. All right, our patriots, they went down to Oregon, they loved their neighbor, they stood up for the Constitution and the rule of law. And what did the government do? They murdered Lavoy Finicum. They assassinated him on the side of the road. They locked our patriots in cages. We need to start putting it on the line. They put their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor on the line. We need to start being willing to do the same. And we need to start giving of our fortunes. We need to start supporting them for legal fees and for their families, their wives, and their children that are out here. They can't do their jobs. They're locked away without due process, not being given bail. Friends, we have to start stepping up. And patriots, I always see them saying, oh, we'll be here when the time comes, we'll be there for you. And then the time comes and the word money is mentioned and they flee, they scatter in every direction. Or they say, oh, well, I'm sorry. I've got a new house payment and I just bought a new boat and there's the car and then there's the vacation and we're going to the game this weekend. So sorry, I really can't be there for you and I can't really give any money. Stop making excuses. We either step up for liberty or we are not for liberty. So you need to start supporting financially the people that are standing up, the people that are in jail. These people need help. And we need to start stepping up. And so I know that times are tough. Some people don't have jobs. And sometimes there's just nothing you can do. There's just no money. But that's not the case with most of us. If there's nothing else you can do, then show up. Be boots on the ground. Do whatever you can. But even if it's just a little, go to the website. I'm going to put a list. We're going to maintain a list of who's in jail, links to their fundraiser sites whenever we can find them. Send the letters, join the mail projects, send them donations. Make sure that them and their families are getting support. Put some effort into it. and start giving a little bit to all of them. Start supporting them. And so there's 3 things we can do, friends. This falls to us. America is here because we, the people, allowed ourselves to be ruled over by a terrorist, treasonous, and lawless government. And we have to step up and start taking a stand for principle, for law, for peace, for the Constitution. If we don't stand up, we pass on the shackles of slaves to our children. And we tell them, you cannot have liberty.